For those that's your first time coming, my name's Jeff Lourie. I am your police chief. I came to you from Westboro. I'm in month 6 right now. It feels like I snapped my fingers and 6 months went by, and then it feels like I've been here 6 years because of all the activity here. So to start first, the first announcement is the town manager was supposed to come today. He notified me Friday that he was pulled away to somewhere else. So I have someone that's filling in for us here today. And she's going to explain basically the Chase Foundation, Team Chase Foundation. And real briefly, we met this weekend at Walmart. We were doing a Stuff a Cruiser event, and her foundation is supporting a bunch of families in need, Brooke. And we kind of hit it off, and I'm going to be honest with you, she kind of touched me a little bit with her story. And I thought, how perfect the town manager couldn't make it, and that I met this nice, lovely woman who's going to come in today and explain the wonderful things she's doing in memory of her son. So, that being said, on a personal note, it has been very busy for me personally. I'll overshare a little bit. Thursday, I closed on a house here in East Falmouth, and Friday, I moved in. So, the good news with that is, with some of the programs, and we're going to talk about town meeting and the successes that we had at the past town meeting, that, yeah, we're going to be asking for some things. So I've got some skin in the game, too, when it comes to some of the initiatives that we're going to be rolling out. So I'm very, very happy to report that the funding for the radios, that $2 million that passed unanimously, I really never ever had that before as a chief, where 100% of town meeting supported that cause, because they don't work. And I can tell you, yesterday, during the holiday stroll this weekend, we had a woman that was reporting a potential house break to us through their doorbell ring camera, and my radio wasn't working. And I'm right downtown. That's a problem. So we had a meeting on that last week. We're starting that initiative right now. So I'm really pleased to report that this is a huge public safety concern for both you and the police department, that we're working to rectify that problem. The deputy police chief's position was also passed for July 1st. Why that's important. When I left the town of Westboro, where I was the chief, they asked me to develop a succession plan. We talked about this last month a little bit, and I did that. I created a deputy chief's position. I hired a man by the name of Todd Minardi, and he was in a candidate pool of one. He is their permanent police chief right now. I want to do that here in Falmouth. So when it's time for me to hang up the cleats, you have a deputy chief that's going to slide right into that position for years to come. Another important initiative that was passed, as you know, we talked about it, and we found some other issues at the station as we're starting to create a new sergeant's office, is the feasibility study was passed. Do we rehab that facility, or do we find another site somewhere to build a new police station? It's too small. We can't keep the water out. We're going to try. There was another $500,000 that was approved at town meeting to kind of repoint that building. That is from the original money to rehab the facility that I talked about, where the bids came in too high. And basically, we're just repurposing that money. And the reason why I went to town meeting was it was supposed to be really for interior work, where now we're doing some exterior work to try to keep some of this water out, because the water keeps pouring in to the facility. So those are the real positive things. Through town meeting, we've been extremely busy. Like I said, we're going to continue to have some Stuff a Cruiser events in the coming weekends. If you want to come and support that, we had a great, both the Chase Foundation and the police department were very successful in our efforts. Saturday, we're going to continue to do that. Either next month or the following, we're going to have the town manager back, or the fire department's going to come in and talk. I have some of your police officers ready. We're going to bring in Lieutenant DaCosta to talk about accreditation and certification through the Mass Police Accreditation Commission. I have our firearms unit is putting together a program to explain to you about our training and equipment and different things and answer all your questions. I have one of my detectives going to come in. We're going to talk about, the law and different changes and different things with Police Officer Standards and Training Commission. So I do have a lot of things coming your way. You have made a decision. I talked to Jill today. The name of this show, this monthly event, is going to be Policing with the People. So that is what we're going to be calling that. And I just wanted to get you folks involved. As I've been a chief, I've done this in different communities, and it works out really well. So if there are things you want to hear about, scams, different things, please reach out to me, and we will develop that, through Jill or to me or Kristen Nickerson, my administrative assistant, and we'll make sure that we present topics that you want to hear about. And I want you to meet your really talented staff. So you're going to see me really bringing in a lot of my staff. I know last month I did bring in the two captains. They're working diligently right now. We're so short-staffed. We're getting 11 people ready for the police academy in February, so they're working on that right now. I've hired 5 either lateral transfers. One just graduated the academy, and one was a self-sponsor. We had another lateral that did apply. I'm hoping we have successful contract negotiations and we can up their pay a little bit and get people to not only come here but stay, because a lot of people are leaving due to the pay. But we're going to work on all those things, and it's all fixable. Things are going really well. It's been an amazing 5+ months now. Love coming to work every day. Get to drive the Heights coming in. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I look forward to working with you and providing different topics for years to come. So with that being said, unless anyone has any specific questions for me, I'll turn it over. Yes. On national gun control, a little bit more specific? So she's basically asking about people that potentially could get a license to carry. So I am the licensing authority for the town of Falmouth. I have, people that take in your applications. We do, basically a check. Some states don't. Some states, police officers, they don't have to have a license to carry, where in Falmouth you have to. So if you qualify, I will issue you a license to carry, and if you want to purchase a firearm for whether it be hunting, protection, or target practice, I mean, that's up to you. But if you qualify, my feeling is I issue the permit. That's my stance on it. Yes, sir.
Many young people you read in Boston are carrying without any training at all. I mean, dangerous, but they hardly know which. I know your officers usually train with weapons. And how do you educate high school students to deal with this? Say they're stopped for whatever reason. How do you deal with the officer? The way to deal with an officer.
I mean, that's a great question, and that's something I can talk to our school resource officer about, who's in the schools, and hopefully he does have a program about that. I'll look into that. Thank you.
Kids need to know not to hear enough and not to take off in the car, but how to do it. I was always taught, if you're stopped, you got bubble gum, you get your license and registration, you hold it, steering wheel, put down the window, you don't have a weapon.
Yeah, and we do. Yeah, we have programs like that too. And one of the things that I did do when I came here, and I did it in my previous employ, was I assigned the school resource officer to the detective bureau, and he wears plain clothes when that's appropriate in a uniform. I want him to be more approachable in the schools. So that was very successful in Westboro before we had some of the issues in Minnesota and social injustice and everything else. We were already doing those things. So Tim's very involved, Detective Brant's very involved with the school system, and we'll make sure that I'm going to ask those questions.
So, we want to make sure the question microphone.
Oh, sorry about
so that's okay.
I'll go up there,
Over
yeah.
there. All right. We have more questions.
A question, what's your feeling about police with body cams?
I love them. There were a couple of things I was involved in for those that weren't here last week. One was accreditation, certification. Westboro was the first town, 351 cities and towns in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that was certified and fully accredited under the 6th edition. 6th edition coincides with POST, Police Officer Standards and Training Commission. I believe in time that a body camera is going to be a standard piece of equipment, just like I never thought 35 years ago when I became a police officer that Narcan would be standard equipment for police officers. So I can tell you that 90, 9% of the time we're doing things right, and it reduces liability, and it's accurate, depicts what's going on. We deployed them in Westboro. The officers loved them. I do have some funding here that I'm using for another project right now. I'm hoping a year and a half to roll out a body-worn camera program. We have some other initiatives that obviously a new set of eyes come into the department. A lot of things that need enhancement needed to be fixed, so we have to reprioritize things. One of them was our evidence room. We did an evidence room audit. There's nothing, no shenanigans, but it was treated like a storage room for years, and I'm trying to get that squared away. It's very important, and it's taken up a lot of our time.
Thank you. Susan Bonney, Loop Road, Falmouth. In Friday's Enterprise, there was an editorial urging the police department to destroy surplus weapons rather than turning them in to be resold to the public. Where do you stand on that?
So that's one of those decisions. There is a policy in town that I believe this, don't quote me on this, the select board relegates to the town manager that he can make the decision to destroy surplus firearms. There's a couple of things. One, there's a standard past practice that allows police officers to purchase the prior weapons. The retirees in the contract can purchase the weapons. This is my standpoint. I am your police chief. I have a fiduciary responsibility, fiscal responsibility to you folks, right? We're all taxpayers here for the town of Falmouth. So if we can save with the shotguns they're talking about, the savings to the town is $4,125. I'm going to say trade them in and save the $4,125. If someone else decides that the above my pay grade, that is my recommendation to the town manager. But if someone above my pay grade wants to destroy those weapons, then destroy them, but give me the $4,125 to complete the transaction. So, I mean, that's my stance on it. I have, as a department head, I have a responsibility to you folks. I ask for a lot, right? There's a lot of nice to haves, and there are a lot of needs. And when there's a need, I'm gonna fight tooth and nail. No is no. But I'm gonna work really hard for you on both sides of the coin to make sure that your staff, your most precious resource, your officers have the training and the resources they need to provide a service that is second to none in Falmouth and along the Cape and Islands. So I am gonna always recommend responsibility. Trade them in. Guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Dennis Sullivan, a question to you. How much of a hiccup is the 911 system right now? In other words, it's a little disconcerting to see a cruiser pull up outside your house on a very nice afternoon for no reason whatsoever and have them come to the door and say, is there a problem here? We got a 911 call, when in fact there was none.
I mean, yeah, things do happen like that, and like I said, we have to respond to it. There are issues, just like we get a lot of nuisance alarm calls. The alarm goes off, and there's no break, there's no issue, and we're gonna obviously show up. So we're gonna do the best we can. But yeah, if we do get a 911 call from that number, we're gonna respond. There's also been an issue. I don't know if you've heard of it, swatting calls, where people will call in and give a certain address saying there's a critical incident going on, and there's nothing going on there. It's very, very concerning.
Hi, Chief Steve Walsh from what used to be called Hatchville. You're probably aware of this, but if you Google police salaries in Falmouth, Mass, they show a median of $67,000, which for the entire country is a couple of $100 off. So that's like they show the median. Now, they don't show what the beginning is, and what I'm a little confused on is education, years of service, all that goes into how much you make. But a person just starting off who doesn't have the years of service, would he make less than somebody, you say, poaching coming from Barnstable, who had like 5 years of service? Would he make more than the person?
He potentially could,
Yeah.
depending on his years of service and his degree. I mean, it's all about trying to attract, right? It's about trying to entice people to come work in Falmouth. And we are lower than a lot of the communities, on the Cape, and quite a bit lower than a lot of the communities. You can go to Mashpee, make 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,000 more a year and do less work. you know? So it's one of those situations where we want to attract people, we want to keep people. This is a real great place to work. We have our issues, we have our underbelly, we have definitely some things we deal with, but it is a great town to work for, it's a great town to work in. And my goal is like, I've got 11 people going to the academy. They're going to be signing a 3-year contract to work with us for 3 years because I'm paying for their academy. If they leave prior to the 3 years, I'm going to want all that money back. And now, in the past, there was really not much you could do. You'd have to take them to small claims court. But now we have this beautiful thing called POST, Police Officer Standards Training Commission. They signed a contract with me. They left before 3 years. I want that money back or you're a liar, and I'm going to decertify you. So you better be trying to be working for the DPW or the fire department because you're not going to be a police officer anymore. So these are the things that concern me, that 5 or 6 of these officers that I'm putting in the academy 3 years from now are going to leave if we don't do something. And we're dealing with contract negotiations now. And like I said, you know, we've got an amazing staff, and there's some things that we can do to retain some of our younger officers. And hopefully, like I said, the town supports that.
Walter McLean, could you talk a little bit about door lockbox, how important they are to have?
So, yeah, so Jill, can you handle that one?
Yeah, so we can offer the information here either through the senior center, our outreach department, or the fire department. So whether you purchase one of your own, we can tell you what type of model. If you're not able to afford one, we try to do some type of program that we can help subsidize that. It is a very safe program. The key is only accessible by contacting, if it's on the ambulance, they would contact dispatch to get the key. So your house is very safe. No one has access to that box or that key at any given time. They have to request permission. So it's a very safe process. It's a very smart process because I know they've had to So it's a very safe process. My outreach can help you out with that information. Okay?
Thank you very much, Jill. Yeah, we don't want to smash your door down. We don't have to.
Any other questions?
Time for general questions or at the end?
Right now, because I will have to leave at some point.
Push something here? My name is Richard Porter. I live on Jeffrey Lane. I'm just curious about the traffic flow from the we live right across the street from the T-Tech Elementary School. And our street has become a satellite parking lot for the school in the morning and in the afternoon. And we've been in touch with Officer Oliver. And I'm just wondering if there's any consideration that can be made about changing the traffic flow in the parking lot of the school. There have been a couple, my wife and I have both commented to a couple of the parents that have been parked on the street, and we've been, I don't know how to put this delicately, they've thrown the F-bombs at us with their children in the car.
Yeah.
And they come down Jeffrey Lane, it's a cul-de-sac, they come around, and sometimes they're going pretty fast. We have young kids that live on the street. And I'm afraid that someday there's going to be an accident.
Yeah, we have
It's not
quite a
going to
bit
be
of them.
pleasant. You know,
So there's a couple of things I'll share with you. One is, if you go on our website, something I set up early on, it's called the STEP program, Strategic Traffic Enforcement Program. You can go on our website, you can do a traffic request. DPW, Peter was nice enough to purchase us $30,000 worth of technology. We set up these speed signs. They're not just speed signs. They actually do traffic studies for us, give us car counts, data, speeds, et cetera. Actually take photos of us. If we have a problem car that you're reporting, we can actually see the car. We know what time, when to deploy our assets. So that's one avenue. Josh Oliver, absolute rock star, great kid, police officer for us. He's on the TAC committee, Traffic Advisory Committee. I'll mention it to him again that, you know, we can talk about it. I'll talk to Tim Brandt, our SRO, school resource officer, to see if he can do some, look into it down there with the school system, at least hopefully for next school season if we're too late this. And the other is, I brought it up several times, we're trying to hire. I want to create a traffic division here in time. That means I have officers specifically designated to do just this, all of your traffic concerns. They're all over town. I mean, too many issues that we're dealing with, and it's just, if you can imagine a town, 54.4 square miles, counting 10 square miles of water, you got 5 officers trying to patrol that. I have one person that's in training right now. This is our entire sector. And if you can imagine, we have one pedestrian hit downtown in a crosswalk. That ties up all 5 officers. The rest of the town's not being covered. So we need more police officers. We need to create smaller sectors. We need more officers on the road. You know, when I say this, the fire department, you know, they're 100, right? And we're supposed to be 67. I'm working in the 40s right now, in the 40s. So when we had these events over the weekend, and thankfully you don't have to pay me. I'm a salaried employee. I come in Saturday, I come in Sunday with the captains, and we do our thing. We're salaried employees. But most of those folks that you see, they're ordered there. I have to order them on to duty because I just don't have enough people. So traffic enforcement is lower on the grand scheme of things, but it is a priority of mine to do proactive policing, proactive police work, and that is dealing with neighborhood quality of life issues that are directly affecting you, sir, that I want to make sure we do something about. And that's that whole adage, providing public safety services second to none. And to do that, you need tires that meet the road. But we're going to do our best. And we're going to come up short occasionally because of our staffing levels. But you've got an amazing group of men and women that are working for the town of Falmouth. And I'm honored to advocate and work alongside them, not just lead.
So the chief also mentioned early on, if there's topics of conversation you want the chief to bring to the table with some of his crew, or if there's topics the senior services department can bring for educational opportunities. You know, we do have a suggestion box right in the cafe area, or you can always email seniorcenter@falmouthma.gov. Give me your thoughts, and we are going to continue to put things together in this program. Okay?
Awesome. So I'm going to introduce Brooke Barrows to you. I think you're going to really like what you're about to hear. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you next month.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me? My name's Brooke DeBarrows, and I'm with Team Chase Foundation. And I'm going to read you. The Team Chase Foundation is a nonprofit foundation honoring the legacy of Chase Soares. That's my son. Our team is celebrating Chase's life and legacy through the generous funding of local and national youth athletic and educational initiatives for our underserved communities on and off the court. In addition to the funding of athletic and educational initiatives, Team Chase will contribute to community outreach projects to decrease disparities with a kind heart and an open mind, founded to the vision and loving memory of Chase Soares. And our vision is a world where everyone has the courage and humility to care, help, and share every day. And my son, Chase, he can you hear me? You want me to grab that mic? Okay. Can everybody hear me now? Okay. My son passed away in an automobile accident, and he was 23 years old, and his name was Chase. And about 1.5 years ago, I started a nonprofit foundation called the Team Chase Foundation. And Team Chase stands for Together Everyone Achieves More, and Chase stands for Care, Help, and Share Every Day. And my son's passion was basketball. He was an all-star basketball player, and he was very humble and very kind. And I created a basketball disc, and it's called the Chase Challenge Kindness Ball. So I try to incorporate his passion, basketball, with kindness. And what it is it's something to do something kind for someone. So it says, enjoy this random act of kindness. It's your turn to pay it forward. Pass this kindness ball on with your random act of kindness and keep the ball bouncing. So what you do is there's a QR code on the back of the ball, and you scan the code, and it opens up the website, and you would put your name in, and it registers the ball. It would say Falmouth, Mass. And then you would put an act of kindness that you did. You could buy someone a cup of coffee. So it opens up the world map, and you can see the acts of kindness being done in Chase's memory all over the world. And how I was trying to figure out how I was going to get this ball to like go all over the world, and so people could hear about and know about my son Chase and our story. And we have a van, and it says Be Kind on one side, and it's really big, and Team Chase on the other side. And Chase was raised here in Falmouth. He was born in Atlanta, and he never gotten a chance to go back. So what we did is we took the van and we went from Cape Cod, Mass, all the way to Atlanta, and we did acts of kindness in every state along the way. We went to the hospital where he was born, and we had gifted a big basket filled with baby stuff in labor and delivery. We paid for a single mother's daycare. We had paid for Starbucks. We had paid for breakfast. We were at grocery stores handing out roses. And Fox 57 News came along, and they wanted to follow us around and hear our story. So it started on Fox 57 News in South Carolina. And then when we were coming back to Cape Cod, we had stopped in New York, and we ended up getting on the Good Morning America show and meeting Robin Roberts and Ginger Z and getting to tell our story about the Chase Challenge Kindness Ball. And I was so happy that when I got back here to my home in Falmouth, Erica from Channel 5 Boston News came, and they did a story, and we were on Channel 5 News. We launched this foundation a little over a year and a half ago, and I'm proud that these acts of kindness have gone viral. So from being on Boston Channel News, we were featured in People magazine, and they did a big, awesome article on Team Chase Foundation and what we do. And from there, we've been on several magazines, several newspaper articles and radio stations. So basically, we do community outreach programs. We just did the toy drive and the food drive. We did that last year, and we also just got done doing it this past weekend. We do Help the Homeless in January. We also do youth athletics, and we do camps for kids. And the basketball camps in the summer for the kids, we support them too. We also do scholarships for the seniors at Falmouth High School. And what else do we do? We ran our first road race this year. We had 16 runners, and they raised money for Team Chase Foundation. And if anybody's interested in getting a ball, I have balls, and the object is when you scan the QR code, it uploads on Team Chase Facebook, and if I scroll down, I can see that this one ball went to Mary in Falmouth, and then it went to Dawn. Although, yep. So then it shows that it went to Donna in East Falmouth, and then I can see that it went to Richard in Florida, and you can see, you can follow the ball, so you can see where your acts of kindness goes. And you can do it, I like to do it anonymously, but you don't have to do it anonymously. You can pass the ball. The object is to keep the ball bouncing. So I usually go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, and I pay for the car behind me, and I will give them this ball to the cashier, and I'll say, can you let them know that I just paid for their order? And then when you pull up, the cashier gives you the ball and says your order's been paid, and hopefully you'll be like, how come they paid for my order? What's the Chase Challenge Kindness Ball? Take the Chase Challenge. So it's to do something kind. And the World Wide Web, you can see all the acts of kindness that are being done all over the world. Neighbors make bread for people, and they put them on their doorstep. A neighbor's given a lawn chair to someone to sit in. It's all kinds of acts of kindness being done. So I'm very happy, and it brings me joy that I can, see all the acts of kindness being done in Chase's memory.
Does anybody have any questions for Brooke before she heads out? No? Okay, well, thank you for joining us. And she's got some basketballs. She's going to walk around if anybody would like to take them. Sure, you can leave them up here. Sure. Okay. All right, so the chief had to scoot out. We are going to reschedule the town manager. I also know we're going to bring in the fire department with the EOC either in January or February. So we're going to reschedule some of those. Get some suggestions of some topics that you all would like. We've got some regular we're going to bring in anyways that we always do with our coffee and conversation program. The chief just wanted to make sure we collaborated and brought him in and his team in. So that's what we're going to keep trying to do each month, okay? As for the senior center, our programs still have been filling up with wait lists. We have fuel assistance still going on through our outreach through Lauren. We'd already talked about the Knox Box program earlier. So we're also starting a new program in January. It's a 10-week, it's called Senior Planet, which is a computer. Okay, so it's a program we're partnering with Elder Services. We're going to take on 12 people at a time with laptops, and it's really teaching people about the basics of the laptop and the applications that they can utilize. So it's going to be 10 weeks starting in January. And we already have our Alzheimer's dementia support group program going twice a month. We're also going to collaborate with Cape Cod Healthcare and offer an additional support 2 times a month as well through Cape Cod Healthcare. So we've got some new programs coming up. And again, we're always welcome to new opportunities. Just put the suggestions in the suggestion box. Okay? Any questions? Okay. All right. Thanks for coming, everyone.